Hey guys, we are going to talk about theoretical versus experimental probability today. Talk about the differences, and then we're going to do a little experiment to hopefully drive the point home. All right, so probability, we are talking about the chances of something happening. So when we talk about theoretical probability, this is the probability that we calculate, and it's what is predicted to happen. You could say that theoretical probability is what should happen or what would happen in a perfect world. Then we jump over to experimental probability. This is what actually happens, right? It doesn't always come out exactly how we think it's going to. This is what actually happens. This is tested. So I was thinking about this. Theoretically, if you heard that a family was moving next to you that had 4 kids, theoretically, it should be 2 girls and 2 boys, right? Because 50-50 chance, boy or girl. So it should have 2 boys and 2 girls. But I don't know about you, but I know a lot of families that have 4 kids and it is not 2 boys and 2 girls. In fact, my neighbors on both sides of me both have 4 kids and they both have 4 girls each. So obviously it does not always happen that way. But if you were to randomly pick 1,000 families that have 4 kids each, and you were to tally up the boys and the girls, it is probably going to be pretty close to 50-50. All right, let's go ahead and look at this with rolling dice. All right, so if we're talking about rolling a dice, my theoretical probability for rolling each of these numbers is what I want to figure out. Well, when we're figuring out probability, we put the number of favorable outcomes or the number of what we're tracking over the number of possible outcomes. So if I was wondering, I'm rolling a 6-sided dice, what's the probability of me rolling a 1? Well, it's 1 out of 6. Same with 2. There's 1, 2 on my dice out of 6 possible numbers. Same with 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we can write probability as a fraction, a decimal, or a percentage. Let's go ahead and just write this as a percentage. It would be approximately 16.7% for each of these. So in a perfect world, if I go ahead and roll a dice 6 times, I should get each number once. But guess what? We don't live in a perfect world. So let's go ahead and see what happens if I roll this dice 6 times. This is my experiment. All right, I got a 2, 5, looking good so far. 5, oh, whoops, 5, 2, 4, and 5. Oh my gosh, guys, I totally just rolled that. That was not planned. So I rolled it 6 times. And I did not get each number once, right? I got 3 5s, 1 4, and 2 2s, which is not very close to this, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and roll this dice die. I know it's a die. I'm probably going to call it dice, even though it's just 1. I'm going to roll this a lot more times. That was proper English. I'm actually going to roll it 102 times total. If you're like, why 102? Why not 100? Because 6 doesn't go into 100 evenly. But 6 times 17 is 102. So theoretically, if I roll this dice 102 times, I should get each number 17 times. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Oh my gosh, I finally got a 3, you guys. Oh man, we just love 5s today. What the heck, you guys? I don't know why I've only rolled 1 3. There we go. All right, there you go, Guys, that was 102 rolls. Now you can see that it is not all perfectly even, right? If it was perfectly matched with our theoretical probability, I would have gotten 17 on each one. But as you can see, I'm pretty close. If I were to keep rolling, doing it 1,000 times, 2,000 times, I'm going to get closer and closer to that 1/6 number. All right, I hope this was helpful. I've got lots more probability videos. If you need them, I'll have a playlist linked in the corner for you. Thanks.